Hey guys, Rob from Expedition Team Overland here on what I think is one of the biggest expeditions that I've partaked in. This has been something I've been wanting to do for 20 plus years, since I was a little kid. We first saw the Rays Hill Tunnel when I was a little kid. And now I've just been enthralled with the Abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike. Go into the history of it later on, but what we have is we have three tunnels here: Rays Hill, Sideling Hill, and Laurel Hill. Rays Hill and Sideling Hill are in this section. Laurel Hill is closer to Pittsburgh, and we'll be exploring that a little bit more tomorrow. But today we're here at the eastern end of Pike to Bike. It is it's an organization that has taken over this road. Pennsylvania Turnpike still technically owns the road and the tunnels, but it's a bike path where people can bike between Breezewood and here. So we're here parked at the eastern section. We're going to hike to the eastern side, the eastern portal of Sideling Hill. There's an abandoned service center plaza that is just a flat open area. We're gonna hike to the portal. I'm not gonna go inside the tunnel. I'm by myself. I don't feel safe doing it by myself. If I had other people here, I would do it, just with wild animals and stuff like that. But let's go check out the Abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike. When the Pennsylvania Turnpike opened in 1940, it was known as the Highway Tunnel because it traversed 7 tunnels from east to west: Blue Mountain, Kittanning, Tuscarora, Sideling Hill, Rays Hill, Allegheny, and Laurel Hill. There was one tunnel through each mountain, and the highway was reduced to a single lane in each direction through the tunnels. These tunnels were originally built as part of the South Pennsylvania Railroad. One short tunnel was bypassed during the original construction of the turnpike. By the late 1950s, the turnpike was so heavily used that traffic congestion demanded expansions because bottlenecks at the 2-lane tunnels of the Pennsylvania Turnpike became major problems to traffic jams forced at each tunnel, especially during the summer. The Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission conducted studies on either expanding or bypassing the tunnels. In 1959, 4 senators urged the state officials to work with the Turnpike Commission to study ways to reducing the traffic jams. That year, the commission began studies aimed at resolving the traffic jams at Laurel Hill and Allegheny Mountain tunnels. Studies for the other tunnels followed. At the conclusion of the studies, the Turnpike Commission planned to make the entire turnpike 4 lanes by either adding a second tube at the tunnels or bypassing them. The new and upgraded tunnel tubes would feature white tiles, fluorescent lights, and upgraded ventilation. The Turnpike Commission announced plans to build a second bore of the Allegheny Mountain Tunnel and a 4-lane bypass of the Laurel Hill Tunnel in 1960. A bypass was planned for the Laurel Hill Tunnel because traffic would be more quickly and less expensively relieved than it would be by boring another tunnel. In 1962, the Turnpike Commission approved these 2 projects. That August, $25 million in bonds were sold to finance the 2 projects. The Laurel Hill Tunnel was bypassed using a deep cut to the north, and it would feature a wide median, truck climbing lanes, and a 145-foot deep cut into the mountain. Groundbreaking for the new alignment took place on September 6, 1962. This bypass opened to traffic on October 30, 1964, at a cost of $7.5 million. Work on the boring of the South Pennsylvania Railroad Tunnel was considered, but again rejected because of its poor condition. On March 15, 1965, the new tube opened to traffic, after which the original tube was closed to allow updates to be made. The reopening in August 25, 1966, the construction of the second tube at Allegheny Mountain cost $12 million. The turnpike bypass of Rays Hill and Sideling Hill tunnels opened to traffic on November 26, 1968. The Sideling Hill and Ray Hill tunnels were bypassed by a 13-mile new highway, as was the Cove Valley Travel Plaza, which was located on the westbound side of the eastern portal of the Sideling Hill Tunnel. Instead, a new Sideling Hill Travel Plaza was built to cater for travelers in both directions. Today, the Abandoned Turnpike, as it is commonly known, is a popular tourist attraction. The Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission sold most of the property to the Southern Alleghenies Conservatory for $1 in 2001. The property is managed by Friends of the Pike to Bike, a coalition of nonprofit groups, to eventually convert the stretches into a bike trail. The property is officially closed to the public and no motor vehicles allowed to travel on the property, but bicycle riders are free to use it at their own risk. The trail requires helmets and lights because the stretches of parts of the former right-of-way of the South Pennsylvania Railroad that was never completed but later formed the basis of the mainline Turnpike. This makes Pike to Bike officially a rail trail. The Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission still owns a stretch of about quarter mile on the west side and 3.5 miles east for maintenance purposes. The tunnel's entrance have deteriorated due to vandalism, and their signboards were taken sometime between 1981 and 1999. However, the tunnel structure is still sound despite not having been maintained for decades. A business plan and feasible study was completed by Gannett Fleming in 2005. It proposed various ideas to make the trail as accessible and possible for cyclists, hikers, inline skaters, and equestrians. As of November 2007, the trail is in the process of changing ownership to Bedford County. This is in response to the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources needs for a government body to own the trail before it can give out grants. The Friends to Bike will continue to run and oversee the trail.
Okay, so here we are hiking the westbound side of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. The eastbound side is right over there, and we're coming up to the Service Plaza. Service Plaza was completely destroyed, taken down, and it's an empty lot. From my research at the Pennsylvania State Police, used it for a firing range for a while, and now it's just part of the Pike to Bike organization. You can see they don't really take too much care of the road, so if you were on a bike, a road bike would probably be a little bit challenging with all the bumps and the loose gravel, so a mountain bike or something with fat tires would be probably the better option. But this is here it is. You can kind of see the road is starting to widen. From my research, this Service Plaza was only available for westbound traffic. Okay, here we are entering the Service Plaza. There's a berm here on the middle of the road. I probably do not believe that was part of the Service Plaza at the time, because it kind of goes right in the middle of the road. I think they probably put it up there during when the state police were doing their shooting. But you can see pretty big area. assume some of these rocks are probably, these barnstones, probably some of the original median where people would park. Right over there, there's like a service entrance for, I would assume that's where if you worked here at the plaza, that you would, so you'd have to get on the turnpike, you get on and off from the service roads. And here's the service plaza. Here's probably where the building once was. I can see some foundation in there. Trees don't look that old. It's the only section here where there's grass in the middle or dirt in the middle. And then I guess this is probably where the pumps were. This looks like older concrete here. You can kind of see where the pumps probably were. They got some markings up here for maybe getting the contaminated pumps out. So this is probably where the service plaza was, the fuel pumps. Okay, so now we just joined back from the service plaza back onto the westbound lanes. So you can see the winter toll. There's some down trees. Not sure, I assume that the Pike to Bike or Department of Transportation will probably take care of these in the spring. It's about, I think about a 1 mile walk from the service plaza to the eastern portal. Alright, now I'm transitioning over to the eastbound lanes. As you can see, nature has taken over its course here. It's pretty much just fallen trees and leaves. And grass is starting to overgrow it with the asphalt below it. So the because of the Pike to Bike, they are, you know, keeping the turnpike a little bit open. If they weren't, the organization wasn't here, this is what the highway would look like today. All right, here we are coming up to the tunnel now. You can hear the turnpike actually goes straight on top of this. Driving over here in the winter time with no foliage in the trees, you can kind of see parts of the highway on the traveling eastbound on the turnpike. But the road's been making a gradual S-turn since the parking lot. Quite a bit of foot traffic on here. Up top is the air shafts and where all the air machines were to fans. Appears to be a little bit of a foggy haze coming out of the tunnel with the air and the airflow between the two tubes. Both portals are open, so it is an open structure. Now at some point here, right around here, is where you had 2 lanes in each direction, 2 lanes eastbound, 2 lanes westbound, funneled down to 1 lane in each direction, which was causing backups and the accidents of why they dug a second bore on the other tunnels. And these 3 tunnels, they chose to go over the mountain for financial reasons. Now there is a crown in the tunnel, so you can't see the other end, because it kind of goes up and then it goes down a little bit, because it's just a black hole going in there. See here the median right here. My foot's on it. That was a median. That was all that stopped the car from having to go over the other lane, which was causing all the accidents. Alright, so I climbed up on top. I ain't gonna go into any of the structures. I'm not gonna do any trespassing. But it appears to be, this is back of the air shaft. There's a door, goes down there. But then up here in this room is the air machines that would move all the air through. See, the roof is leaking in. Natural spring over on this side. I think that was one of the big leading factors into not boring a second hole, was just the amount of maintenance required. Here's the other side. I would assume that these shafts were always open. These vents were always open. Just the amount of air that had to be sucked into those machines to blow air through the whole tunnel. But nature and kids have taken their course here. Those two windows there, that appears to be where those offices were. Not real sure what this area here was dug out for, if it was just for sunlight into the offices. Alright, we're gonna walk back to the Jeep. We're gonna swing on top of the mountain on a local road into Buchanan State Forest, is where we're gonna be camping tonight. Alright, here's the first floor room. There was obviously a door right here. Looks like this is a stairwell that goes up into the upper levels. The stairs were removed. There is a ladder there where kids have put up there, but I'm going to go in there. And in this room appears to be like a coal room. I guess coal would have been to heat, for heating, maybe to even make a steam generator run it. So coal would have been dumped into that door there. And then there's a door right here, and it looks like it goes in a grate, and there looks like there's an auger system. It goes here. There was some type of motor right there that ran for the coal. There's nothing up here. I don't know what that is. There wasn't anything down below it. You can still see remnants of coal on the floor and in the bottom of that room. So assume that a truck would have brought coal in here, dumped it, and then they would have, that appears to be like some type of dumping thing, 'cause it's open on this end. Maybe they stored a vehicle in here, I'm not sure. Then upstairs is offices, and then the fan rooms. And then you come out, and you're right here. You're where the traffic would have been. You can see the divider, concrete divider, divided the eastbound and westbound lanes. All right, let's get back to the Jeep. Let's continue on to the west side of Sideling Hill. All right, so now we're walking back from the service plaza back to the Jeep. Now, if we were to continue eastbound on the turnpike here, they have removed the bridges that went over the local roads. But if you were to have continued on this, you would meet up with the current turnpike just after Sideling Hill Plaza. Sideling Hill Plaza is where it's one plaza for the eastbound and westbound lanes. It's on the westbound side of the road. Eastbound traffic goes up and over. There was issues back before electronic toll collection, Easy Pass, where truckers would trade their tickets to get a cheaper toll. So that was a problem, but then they added weights onto them, so the trucks had to weigh about the same. But now you can't get mixed up. Eastbound and westbound traffic is segregated. Parking lots are segregated, so you can't cross over the parking lots for that toll reason as well. So, but I think it's about 4 or 5 more miles of abandoned turnpike that is pretty much useless. There's with them taking the bridges out, you can't get in between them. The entrance to the turnpike is a truck turnoff area where trucks can wait, and then Pennsylvania Turnpike working people can they store gravel and construction equipment there. So now we're going to climb up and over Sideling Hill on some residential roads, check out a forest road that goes down the spine of Sideling Hill, and we're going to be camping in Oregon Camp. I have a reserved spot there, primitive camp spot reserved in Buchanan State Forest. That is where there was a World War II POW camp there, German POW camp. Some of the remains are still there, but that is another where we will be able to get to the other side of the Sideling Hill portal, the west side of the portal. I'm not sure if we'll do that tonight or tomorrow morning. So let's get back to the Jeep and truck on. All right, so here's one of the examples of where they have removed a bridge. You can see the highway, the old highway is up there on that hill. There was a bridge here. They took out the whole siding, and then at the crest of that hill is the back of the original road. So you cannot, unfortunately, drive the full turnpike. These bridges were taken out in the late 90s, early 2000s, I believe. So you can't technically do it, but you have to come back. You have to get on the surface road, come back up. So we're going to continue on. All right, here we are. We are literally on top of the middle of the tunnel up here in Buchanan State Forest. We're almost 900 feet above the tunnel. We're at 1,941 feet, and the tunnel's around 1,100 feet. So we're quite a ways up here. We are in Buchanan State Forest on Summit Road. So I'm going to, it's an unmaintained winter road. So not sure how far I go. Looks like it has a lot of traffic though on it. We're going to just go explore this road for a little bit.
This may be a song that the captives can yet sing, but if we sing long enough, they might join in with us. This may be a dance that's too heavy for those chains, but if we dance long enough, well, the prisons will open up. Hey! Shout that those fragile lungs can't bear, but if we shout long enough, well, the walls might finally fall, and they may need some help to lift their hands up in the air. But we know that freedom's coming, so we'll sing it all the more. We're singing, oh, let the beat now have a song. We'll sing it all day long until the rest come running home. And oh, all the broken can you hear? We'll shut it out forever. Can't wait till you make it here. Sing it out, say it. Oh, oh, oh. pray out loud. We just send those orphans home. We've been waiting all day long. Oh, a ringing robe is ready. We can see them coming now. Just like the prodigal, we're gonna meet them in the road. We're singing, oh, the Redeemed now have a song. We'll sing it all day long till the rest come running home.
Alright, we're here at camp. Got a fire started here. I have my lava box, but there was some wood here, so I decided to try to give it a start. Doing the standard stir fry as usual. Gotta get working on some more menu stuff. So I'm taking advantage of some of the picnic table. Waiting till the last minute to get the tent set up. Had moved the Jeep a couple times because of the smoke, but I think I got a pretty flat location. Now get it all set up. But we got broccoli steaming up there. Got some rice going. It's dinner time. Good morning from a cold camp. It's probably in the low 30s, mid 30s. Slept like a baby up in the Alu-Cab. Had the heater on all night long. Toes got a little cold because they're down at the foot. So just gotta wear socks next time. But man, I slept great. Couldn't get the fire going last night. Just the wood was just incredibly too wet. By the time I finished dinner, it didn't really feel like digging out the lava box. I just jumped up in the camper and watched a movie. So now we're gonna hit the road, gonna break down camp. Pretty much got everything cleaned up from last night. Just left one of the Zargas boxes out, just so I had more room in the camper to walk around and whatnot. So let's break camp and hit the road. We are here at Oregon Camp. This was a POW camp during World War II. That's a private. I think that was the officers' quarters. That's now a private residence. Back around here, there's various structures, and so there's a trail that we can take. And then this road here is the access to the west portal of Sideling Hill. So let's go walk up to it. All right, so now we're hiking up that little access road right up to the turnpike here. Sideling Hill is over there in a little bit in the distance. Once again, we're going to be traveling on the westbound lane like we were yesterday. So as soon as you access it, this is now, I've been up at this one once before and can't tell you why, but I feel that this portal is more spooky than the other tunnel that I felt yesterday. This is my second or third time walking this, and hit the same kind of creeps, I think, because you can see the mountain kind of gradually slopes into the side of the mountain, into the tunnel, and creates this funnel like feel, I guess. They have filmed a bunch of movies here, so same thing as yesterday. The road is in very bad condition. Various levels of asphalt are coming up. Now this is also this is where you're going to be funneling down. We're probably already at 2 lanes, 1 lane in each direction, because it was 4 lanes, 2 in each direction, funneled down to 1 in each direction into the tunnel. We'll see if we can find that concrete median. Looks like it was taken up. It's all covered in snow. Yeah, I think because of what I said with the hill kind of creating this funnel, there is a little bit more of a breeze being funneled this way versus the west-east portal. A little more open. I'm getting a little bit of a breeze coming out of the tunnel. I assume that both the portals are the same. We had a office with a coal chute, and then the turbine room up top. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make it up on top. Here is that median, I think. Yeah, this is right here. This is that concrete median. That's all it would divide the 2 cars from hitting head on. A lot of water. Now, granted, it has snowed and it's all melted, but the water coming out through the rocks. So this was one of the issues that they had to deal with when making the decision not to bore a second hole. Yeah, this one's a little bit more locked up than yesterday. They actually have the gates up, but they put new gates in. So they put new doors in. Oh, no, the door's open. Alright, so just got back here to the access road down to Oregon Camp. Now, I don't know if this road was here but while the camp was in operation, because the turnpike was running during World War II. The turnpike was made between World War I and World War II, I believe. So this road might have always been here. I don't know. It looks looks well maintained, but they could have made it after as an access road to the tunnel. Not really sure. So now this is the true abandoned section, because between here and Breezewood, or between here and Rays Hill Tunnel, there's no other real access to the turnpike. People would have to park where we parked yesterday on the eastern portal, on the east side of the Sideling Hill, park here at Oregon Camp, or park at the other end of Rays Hill, because I'm not sure if you can make it through. I think there's one more section close to Breezewood. So, but we're going to explore Oregon Camp a little bit and then head on down. I'm not sure how much of Rays Hill we can see, but we're going to go check it out. Alright, so we're here back at Oregon Camp. So there's a couple structures that, you know, the foundations are still visible. This here was number 17. It's lavatories for the guards. So this was a CCC camp in the after the Great Depression, where they built roads and trained people how to be carpenters and forest firefighting and stuff like that. And then during the war, it became a German POW camp. So I think most of these, the designations of these are for the POW camp. So this is a lavatory for the guards. The cabin there was officers' quarters, and then it's hard to see, but in here there's very little foundation left, and trees are actually growing really tall for, you know, 60 years. But there's some foundations here. There were 4 rectangle barracks where I assume that the POWs would have been. Long rectangles here in between these trees. In the back corner there was a swimming hole, and then there's a chimney right there. And I think that the chimney was the officers' mess and stuff like that. They've done a really nice job of maintaining this, with picnic benches for you to explore, and laying out what all the numbers are and all that type of stuff. So, that's Oregon. That's a very brief overview of Oregon camp. And we're gonna head down the road. There's a ball field. That's where I was supposed to camp last night. So we're gonna go to the ball. We'll see the ball field. Then we go underneath the road and try to explore Rays Hill Tunnel. Alright, so here we are at one of the overpasses here. You can see this is the original from the 1930s. The concrete still in really good shape. You just tell with the type of design. You know, it is starting to fall apart in some places. You know, eventually they'll probably have to take it out. But this is one of the original structures of the turnpike when they made it. You do see this various throughout the turnpike. When you're driving on some of the overpasses, there's still some of the originals that they've maintained. So let's keep on trucking. Alright, so I'm up here on top of that bridge where the Oregon Camp Road is. Down that way is the Sideling Hill Tunnel. I don't know if you can see, there's a real tall pine tree. That's kind of where the turn is, where Oregon Camp Road went down that access road. Here's a nice long straightaway. You can see the original concrete deteriorating. The rebar. And there's Oregon Camp. That's the ballpark. That's where I was supposed to camp last night, but the gate was closed off, even though I paid for it. They said it was open, but all right, let's plug on. All right, now we're paralleling the turnpike. The turnpike's just off to our right here. We kind of weave around it, get real close to it at some points, get real close to paralleling it. But it's Oregon Road, very well maintained forest road. So here we are at the west portal of Rays Hill Tunnel. There was the only way to access the east portal of this is from doing the pike to bike. There's private property above it. It goes to some type of lake camp or something, so there's no access there. However, now this is very similar to the west portal of Sideling Hill. You can see the kind of makes this funnel on either side as the tunnel's cut into the side of the mountain. We're now on the eastbound lane, and actually here I think you can see these two lanes. This is the median where it started to come down once again from 2 lanes to 1 lane. Just the way the concrete's raised a little bit, I think that's probably where that was. Now all these tunnels all had the same architecture and design, so they I think it was just easier to design them and get them built fairly quickly. Now this tunnel is over 100 years old now, if not 100 years old, and it's still standing, hasn't collapsed. Tells you something about the design and structure that they did back in the day. Very amazing. Actually here I think there's actually some paint still. I'm not sure what that's. That can't be original. They did. I think they filmed a movie here. I'm not sure. One of these tunnels they filmed a movie, but I would assume this is not original paint from the. Nah, because it's on top of this. Here's the concrete. This was filmed after. Now, the Turnpike Commission did use these roads, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s to test paint, test asphalt, rumble strips, and such. So it might be from that time. This concrete is obviously newer, so this must have, maybe this is where they filmed the movie. Now you can see a little bit of light. There's a little bit of a crest in the tunnel. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's light. As you see, you have the double doors where that coal chute thing is, offices up above, and then the ventilation. Yeah, this is a very short tunnel. You can actually see, you can see through it. Here you can see the top portion of it. Yeah, it looks like there's a double lane paint all the way through. So and here's one of the original light posts. Had a street light above that to light up coming out of the tunnel. That's original. I believe when I came here in the 90s, there was actually the light fixture was still there. So yeah, this road is in considerably better condition than the other side. So this must be where they did some testing, or they filmed a movie here. Couple more telephone poles up here, and then right at the bridge there is one more light post. So as far as I've seen, there's 2 light posts still. Probably have it illuminated for the merge. Alright, now once again we're here with one of the original overpasses. And you can actually see there's a PTC, Pittsburgh Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission stamp into it right above the 13. This has lasted the test of time. Yeah, they obviously still maintain this at some, you know, to a level here, because it is, yeah, still a road underneath, so they don't want it to collapse. They probably keep up, but this is all original. All right, so we're here at the Flight 93 National Memorial. It's a national park, so you're not allowed to film in here without permits, and because it's such a somber location, I'm also not going to choose to film as well. So what I'll do is I'm just going to take some pictures, drive through, and continue on. But this is a very, very somber location. It's very deep to me with my career. And I was in college on 9/11 when when it all happened. So it's a very meaningful location, very somber location. So this is a memory of everyone who perished on 9/11 and in the aftermath of the wars. So keep them in our thoughts and our prayers. So here we are on the west portal of the Laurel Hill Tunnel. You can see the NASCAR racing team here. They've definitely modified the tunnel. It looks like they put a new face on it out there. They have a exhaust system, an air conditioning HVAC system. Built this extended garage here, probably where they back in the trailers to unload and load the trucks. And it's somewhere around there. Inside is the turntable. I would assume that right here, this alleyway here is where they do the racing. There is 3 rows of tires. So if the car was to lose its brakes or run out of control, it would hit these tires and then hit this massive Jersey barrier to eventually stop it. So. Alright, so here we are on the east portal of Laurel Hill Tunnel. You can see it's not as maintained as the other side. I guess the other side's where the shop and headquarters probably is. This Quonset hut here is probably where they just do the turnaround. You can see we got another set of 4 tire barriers here for, I guess, if the car loses brakes or runs out of control, they'll come through here. Now, I did drive down the original road, so I'll get that, that'll be in the next set of videos, but that was pretty cool. So this is what it looked like when you came out of, when you're going westbound. This is what you would have saw, the tunnel with the one, you know, would have gone down from 2 lanes in each direction to 1 lane each direction, the suicide in the tunnel. You come out, this is going eastbound, is what you would have seen coming out of the tunnel, and then expanding from 1 lane to 2 lanes in each direction. Up there you can also see the original air shaft and where the machines were to get the air circulation machines. It's all overgrown and looks like the roof has collapsed a little bit. So now, supposedly there's some Jeep trails up on that hill. We're going to go explore that later on. Alright, so here we are. We are now driving on the abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike, coming eastbound out of Laurel Hill. The road is in very bad condition, obviously. It's almost dirt. Turnpike Commission used it to store dirt and whatnot. There were some cars further back there. I don't know if that's an impound lot or whatnot, but we are driving eastbound on the turnpikes. This is what people in the 40s and the 50s, what they would have seen. You might be able to see in the distance some trucks up there in the distance. That's the bypass that they built. Go up a little bit of a grade, and that's where we join the turnpike. Now, I don't know if this is how original this all is. I'm not sure where the original road went from here, but it was all changed up when they had to change the grade. So there we go, Laurel Hill. All right, guys, we are here at the summit of Laurel Hill. As you saw, we can't get to the portals because it's being run by an indie racing team. So they have, it's all private property. This is on the maps a Forest Service road, but that's definitely not a Forest Service gate or a Pennsylvania Game Commission gate. So guess there's some private property issues. So obviously the gate's closed, so we're not going to be able to go down there. According to Google Earth and the maps, this road goes up, makes a hairpin turn, and comes parallel to the east portal of Laurel Hill. And from the Google Earth, it looks like it's just an open field that goes down into where that Quonset hut is located. So now we're going to go up this road here. It is a unmaintained winter road, so we're going to see how far we can get. And I don't think we're going to be able to see the western portal of the tunnel, but we'll be able to get kind of on top of it and see what on top of Laurel Hill looks like. So let's go down the road. All right, so here's the Forest Service road. No winter maintenance. Looks pretty steep. So let's go see how far we can make it. All right, so we are up here on top of the tunnel. It is right below us, and there is this structure here. Not sure. I've never seen this in my research or anything. There's no door on it. The top doesn't look like it's a new type of concrete. Looks like the same type of mortar that's in the center of the structure. There's no doors. So I'm not really sure what this is, if it's an air vent, an access shaft, or what. But if any of you know what this is, let me know in the comments. Alright, so we're back here at the west portal. Over there at the end of that gate is where I filmed. So you can see the new, some type of new workshop or something. And then in there, that is the 3 barriers where I think probably where if the car were to lose control or something like that, they would go out there. But here is the, looks like they've removed the roof of the fan building. Probably it was so deteriorated and whatnot. but they did leave the turbines in there. It was surprisingly the Turnpike Commission didn't remove them, but we saw that in Sideling Hill as well, that those were still in there. So, but they had to remove the whole structure. Probably it collapsed, and for the structural integrity of their operation, they probably just kept it in. So couldn't get to the other portal, the east side of this, but this once again, we got there yesterday with the on the other side, drove right up to it, but couldn't get on top. Alright guys, well, that's the conclusion of the expedition of the Abandoned Pennsylvania Turnpike. Covered a ton of miles, got to see some pretty cool stuff. Now, I've been up around these tunnels before, but never as close as I got up to this time. It was really cool to bring you guys along and show you the history of this amazing structure. These tunnels and infrastructure are well over almost 100 years old, and they're still standing, haven't collapsed. And in the case here at Laurel Hill, it's still being used by that IndyCar race team. So it just shows you how they built stuff to last 100 years, 150 years in this. Now, you do have to upkeep them, and the race team here, they are, you know, I would assume that they poured some money into the infrastructure for them to continue to use this. As you can see, that, you know, it looks like a fairly new building down there compared to what I've seen in years past driving through here. So fantastic time. Look forward to seeing you with the rest of the trip. This is my big first camping trip in the Alu-Cab. Fantastic, had a great time. So we got more to come to you this summer, so stay tuned. Bye-bye.